So this amazing and beautiful animation was completely made with AI, and this gives a premium touch to any website. So today I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. So first, let's have a look at the actual website itself, the product. So here we have a premium restaurant, a sushi restaurant website. It's called Kujira. So in the hero section, we have this animation, which we called a scroll-driven sequence animation. So this was popularized by Apple. If you go to their website, so for example, here we have this animation here, which when you scroll down, the animation plays forward, and when you come back up, it's in reverse. And that's exactly like when you scrub through a video. So this animation is really smooth, and this is exactly the technique that we're going to use. So coming back to our website here, like I said, this was built with AI. But it's important to understand like the basics behind it. So there's a difference between a playback video and this kind of animation. This looks like a video, but it's not a video. It's actually 191 frames, so 191 images for this animation. Because a video is just like a bunch of images. So let's say a 60 FPS is 60 images, so 60 frames per second. So this uses the same principle. When you scrub through it, it's going to map your scroll position with the frame that's going to be shown on the canvas. So the way to calculate that is the progress, which is from 0 to 1, meaning that 0 is the start of the scroll and 1 is the completed scroll. So the progress times the number of frames. So for example, if we're halfway through the scroll, so 0.5, which is half between 0 and 1, times the number of frames, which is 191 in this example. So 0.5 times 191 would be 95. So the frame number 95 would be shown exactly at the halfway of the scroll. So the same way with 10%. So 0.1 times 191 would be 19. So the frame number 19 would be shown at 10% of the scrolling progress. So we can demonstrate that in the website here. So here at the top, it's 0. And when we scroll all the way to the end of the animation, that would be 1. So halfway somewhere here would be frame number 95. And 10% would be somewhere around here, frame number 19. So that's the way it works under the hood. So this whole template was made in a single HTML file. And the reason behind it is that we can use it in Aura. And if you guys don't know what Aura or the Aura platform is, I will have deeper dive videos about it. So make sure to come back because it's going to take your designing and your productivity to a whole other level. So let's have a look at the rest of the template here. So beyond the sequence animation, below it we have the philosophy section. And by the way, we have an image on the left right here. So I will also show you how to create those images and host it. That's the most important part. Host it in a way that you can use it in Aura or any other platform if you want. So then when we scroll down, we have this, the menu highlights. Again, we have the images that I created for, specifically for this website. So these makes it so much more enjoyable, to see like these tailor-made images instead of your generic image that you have in your typical template. So having these, so here we have the otoro, we have the uni, and the wagyu, excellent by the way. So and then we have the shrimps and unagi. Below that, below the menu, we have the experience section, and here you can see the hover effects here. It reveals the background pattern. So this kind of interaction makes your template much more professional, not too much. It just gives a nice experience. So down here we have the chef's quote, and with this really nice Japanese letters. And below it we have the contact section. So the whole template follows the black and gold theme, so it's really feels premium. So I will also have the template in the description so you guys can come and have a look at it. and also have the possibility to remix it, so you can turn it into another template, another website, while keeping the same style. So let's start with the first step. So in order to have our animation, we need the first and the last frame. And to do so, we're going to use a tool called Whisk. And this is from Google. So it's an experimental project. Here on their website, we can see all the images that it was created using this tool. And you can also animate it too. So here's all the examples of what the project can do. So if we go into the tool itself, if it's the first time that you use it, you can see here on the left that, first of all, the difference between this tool and other image generation is that this is more like you can compose your image, so with prompt or images. So let me show you that. So here on the left we have the subject that you can prompt, or you can show a reference image, and you can do the same for the scene and the style. So this really gives you like more control over the image that you want to produce. But for this example, we're not going to use that. We also have this simple prompt that you can use, you're used to with any image generator. So we're going to use this exact prompt that I used to build or to create the first image that I have. So a professional photo shoot of one fresh sushi, very detailed in a black background only, no reflection, ultra realistic, and this is for a hero section. So then we can just send that and it's going to start to create. And if we go to our my project, the one that that I use for this exact website, see here you can see all the images that I created. I've tested and created some really nice sushi photo shoot. Actually, you can see the all the lighting here. It's really nice, and it's only going to get better. So if you look at the actual image that I used was this one. So if you look at the prompt, it's exactly the same. So this is the prompt that I used to get this very detailed image. So what's nice about this platform is that it works more like iteration. So you create your first image, and then you can reprompt it and iterate it and get it to really like where you want. So for example, this was the first image that I created, and then I created the the final frame of the animation, which is a blown up shot of all the sushi components in 3D. It's zoomed out and at the really nice angle. But what happened is that since the subject is so zoomed in, then when you give this as a first reference image and this one as the last reference image, the framing is like too small. So when you ask for, let's say when you create the video and ask for a blown up shot, then what happens is that since it's too zoomed in, the elements are going to animate, but it's going to be out of the frame. So you don't want that for your animation. You want like everything in full view. So what I did is I took this image, and what's really nice is that you can just click here and you can refine using this as a basic image and reprompt what you want as iteration. So let's go back and have a look at what I've created out of that one. So I wanted the sushi to be zoomed out. So this is the one that I actually use for our animation. So I ask it to keep like the same image and just zoom out way more. So by doing that, we have a lot of space for the elements to animate without being cut off. So once you're satisfied with your image here on Whisk, then you can just simply download it. And then download your first frame and download your last frame. And this is really important because this is going to dictate how your animation is going to look like at the end. So make sure to take your time and get it like exactly how you want it, how you envision it in your head. It's good to try multiple multiple styles, multiple shots, multiple angles, because you can change the lighting, you can change all kind of stuff, so you can start with something, but through the iteration, you might find something even nicer. So make sure that both shots are perfect, then we can move on to the next step. So now that we have the starting and ending frame, we can now actually start to create the animation itself. And for that, we're going to use another tool from Google, which is Veo. So I'm sure a lot of you know what Veo is already, but for those who don't know, Veo is a video generator that also generates sound that match with the actual video. So let's have a listen to this one.
Untamed might, and she commands your awe with every breaking light. This ocean, it's a...
So the way that we are going to use Veo is through Flow. So Flow is like their AI video generator. So once you generate your AI video, you can edit it in Flow. So all we have to do now is just to enter the tool itself. So now we're going to create a new project, and here you can type the prompt for your video, and you have multiple options. So we have the text to video, but the one that we want is frames to video since we have our frames. So this one here is the starting frame, and this is the ending frame. So now you only have to upload your image from your computer, the one that we saved from Whisk. And since I have it uploaded already, so I can use this. This is the starting frame, and the ending frame will look like this one. So then all you have to do is to paste your prompt, or write your prompt and create the actual animation. So let's go to the project itself, the one that I created for this website. So this is the one that I use. So the sushi spinning, animating, rotating, you just have to describe the way that you want your animation to behave, and the way that you see, how you see all the camera angles, maybe the lighting, the motion, is it fast or slow, basically all the details that you want in your animation. So here I put it because we had I had problem with the elements being cut off. Then I put this in all caps. All elements should be fully visible and not cropped. But that was because the image was too big. So let me show you exactly what it was. So if we play this animation, you're going to see that it's cut off here at top, bottom, and that's not what I want. If it's cut off here, it's going to be cut off on the website. So maybe you want that. Maybe you want this full big sushi, taking the full viewport and being out of the view. But that's not the animation that I wanted. That's not the result that I wanted, and that's why if you remember in Whisk, I asked for a zoomed out version. So this end up final version that we have. And I want you to notice that there's here a Veo watermark here at the bottom. And here, you can use multiple or other tools to remove it, or there's a simpler way for that. And this is going to also take care not only for this, but also take care of the cutoff at the bottom, the rice grains and the wasabi. So we're going to, I'm going to show you how to remove that and make it like seamless for the website. So once you have your video, you're satisfied with your video, all you have to do is just download it. You can download the original size or the upscale one. But somehow for me, the upscale didn't work. So I just downloaded the original one. And then you can always use another AI. So for example, Topaz or any other AI to upscale your video. And, maybe, it's going to work if you try to download the upscale version of this. You can also have 4K, but you have to upgrade it. And by the way, this tool and both this one and Whisk, you can use it totally for free. You have credits. And here, if you upgrade it, you have credits. And if you run out of credits, then you can just upgrade it. If you have like Google AI subscription plan, then you have more, then you have more usage. But you can test this workflow and it's not going to cost you nothing. So as for any AI generated content, make sure you can have multiple iterations, because you rarely have like the perfect one at the first shot. But it's totally normal, so you can just try different prompt, different variation, but just be efficient. Don't waste all your credits. So now we have downloaded our video animation, so let's have a look. This is just perfect. This is really nice. So the video is in MP4 format, and we need a way to convert that into multiple frames that we can use in our sequence animation. So to do that, we're going to use another tool, which is called ezgif.com. It's a browser tool, so you can just upload your file into it, and you don't need to do anything else. So what you're going to do is you're going to come to this video to WebP converter. So we're going to choose our video file here. We're just going to upload it. So we can see the video here. It's been uploaded. So now we have like the configuration, the settings. So the start time, we leave it at 0, and the end time is 8 seconds. So because the video is 8 seconds long. So we keep this all at the default setting, so this works well. So all we have to do is click on the convert to WebP and give it some time. So now it's done. The animation has been converted. So what we need to do now is to convert to JPEG. So now we come down here and click on convert to JPEG. So it was pretty quick. You see all the frames here. So it took the video and it turned it into frames. So now we have all these frames available for us to use on our website. So scroll to the bottom. See, so everything's there, and you can just click on download all files as a zip. You can also convert the MP4 directly to JPEG, but in my experience, the quality was lower. So you can try both and see what's better for you, what works for you. So this is the file that we downloaded, and let's have a look inside. So we have all the frames, and we have exactly 191 frames. So this will be our folder. We're going to use this folder for our sequence animation, and we're going to put it inside our project. So now we have everything we need to start building the website. So let's first start by renaming the folder that we had. So you can rename it what you want, and we put it in this new project folder. So sushi website demo. And now all we need to do is to find a way to host all these images. And the easiest way to do it is to use something that we already use, and that's GitHub. So the reason why we are using GitHub is because it's truly free. So there's no free tier limit. There's no setup. There's no bandwidth meter. So as long as you use it in a fair way, then for a project like this, it's totally fine. Of course, if it's for production, then you would use something else. So for those who have never done it before, it's really easy. All you have to do is go to github.com and create your account. So once you have that, you can come into here and just create a new repo. Make sure that the new repo is public because it's going to be needed in order to access the actual image. So just give it a name, and here we make sure that it's public. And then we create the repo. So this is the link to your new repo. It's going to be needed in order to set up your remote repo. So make sure to copy this, and we're going to go back into our local folder that we just created. So now we can actually start to build our project. So to do that, you can use any IDE you want. You can use VS Code or Windsurf, or even terminal tools like Claude Code or Gemini CLI. So right now I'm using Cursor, and what we are going to do first is to initialize the repo. So we're going to open the terminal here. So first we need to initialize, so git init. Then we need to add all the files in the project. And then we need to create our first commit. So in order to do that, we do git commit, and then we write the message of the first commit. So we can do initial commit. So now we need to link our project to the repo, the remote repo that we just created. So now we need to do git remote add origin and the URL that we just copied. And the last thing to do is to push it. So git push upstream origin main, where main is the name of your main branch. So now if we go and refresh this page, now we see the sushi animation folder here that we had on our system. So essentially, we just uploaded all our images on GitHub. All right, so now we have everything set up and we can actually start to build our animation. And for this, you are going to need an coding agent. So for example, Claude Code or Codex, or you can use an IDE like Cursor or Windsurf or Anti-Gravity. So it doesn't really matter which one you use because they're all really smart. So in this case, we're going to use Claude Code. And the first thing we need to do is to paste or actually to prompt our first prompt. So it could be as simple as create a single HTML file with a scroll-driven frame animation in the hero section. And it's going to use the image from the repo, the public repo that we just created. So you paste the URL and you send it. So these models are really smart. You don't have to do anything. Just by entering this prompt, it's going to know how to map the right image to the scrolling position. And it's going to come up with a really nice working animation. So let's have a look at the first result that we got from the prompt that we did earlier. So as you can see, the animation works fine and it maps correctly with your scrolling. So here you can see, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's really, really beautiful. So now with AI, every time you work with AI, you're going to have to iterate and give it like instructions to how you want your style, your website, how you want it to look. You know, AI is non-deterministic, meaning that if you give it a prompt or if you prompt something, it might give different result every time. So now we start the iteration process. So you go back and forth with AI and then like prompt it, really guide it exactly where you want your final result. So let's look at our final page here. We see the same animation, so it's easy for AI to create this kind of scroll animation. You know, we made it work like with only one simple prompt. So now in terms of iteration in the final product, you can see that we don't have, remember we have like the watermark from Google here. If you go into this one where you're gonna see it, you see the VO here. And also, yeah, it's nice that it added this like as a separation line. But what happens is that, so here we can see a straight edge and it doesn't blend well. So if you don't like it, then all you have to do is to prompt the AI to use alpha mask. So you don't see the separations between the image and the next section. It blends with the background, and at the same time we were able to remove the watermark here. So this is a cool trick. So whenever you have this kind of animation, you can do that. And then the rest of the website, you can go like section by section and really give directions to how you want this website to turn out. So here you can see in this menu here, I also use Whisk to create these images because it's the same process. You create the image and then you put it on your website, so it looks more professional, more pleasant to look at. It makes it more unique. And you just continue section by section. But the most important part, which is the hero section, then we have this animation that was 100% made with AI. And this really creates the premium look on your website. So that's how you create this kind of animations with AI. And I encourage you to go test and try different animations, different websites, different topics, different styles. And if you found this useful, make sure to subscribe. It's going to help the channel a lot. And I'll see you in the next video.